Welcome, everybody, to the Superhumanistic Podcast, where we talk about all things health and wellness. Thank you for joining me today. I am your host, David. My wife, Jessica, is taking a break from this episode, but she should be back soon. Make sure you follow us on Superhumanistic on everything: YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Hit that follow button on this podcast so you never miss another episode. Last week, my wife was solo and she talked about exercise frequency. So if you want to learn more about how much exercise you truly need to get, go back and listen to last week's episode. This week, I'm going to be talking about bone broth. So I'm going to be talking about all the different benefits that you can get from bone broth, and what is bone broth, how much you should be drinking or consuming each day or week, and also just some fun facts about bone broth, as that is a popular, always kind of trendy thing. It goes back and forth. It's always kind of big and trendy for a little while, then it disappears, and then it makes another return. But it's something actually that has been around for a very long time, and for hundreds of years, people have been utilizing bone broth to stay healthy. It's really been around since prehistoric times, and it's a practice that spans across different cultures and continents. It's a versatile ingredient that can be incorporated into soups, sauces, and even a smoothie. So very easy to get bone broth into your diet. It's gelatinous, so actually when it's cooled, it can turn into more of a gelatin or jelly-like substance. So just kind of an interesting fact for you on that. And in some cities across the world, you can actually find bone broth bars. So people will be lining up for their bone broth bar instead of their coffee in some places. So let's jump into what is bone broth. And basically, how is that made? And we can get into all the different nutrients that are also associated with this particular product. So when it comes to bone broth, it's essentially made by simmering or kind of boiling different parts of either beef, lamb, chicken, turkey, or pork. And you essentially want to boil those parts into water for about 12 to 24 hours. So that's a very important factor. Anything less than 12 hours, you're kind of just having a stock at that point. And then the resulting liquid is going to be rich in collagen, protein, and micronutrients. So the nutrients that are vital to your health are the collagen, which provides support and structure and strength to your skin, muscle, bones, and connective tissues, while protein is crucial for building and repairing muscles after exercise. So those are going to be some benefits. Also, it's going to help boost your immune system, blood pressure regulation, bone health, and weight management as well, just because bone broth is rich in nutrients but low in calories. The longer you boil the bones and keep them in the broth, the more protein and collagen that you're going to be able to extract from the bones. I think most people are probably going to go in a store and buy this and not make your own. So this is just some information and background information so you can know what is in the bone broth that you are consuming and how it's made. As far as micronutrients go, it can also contain amino acids, which are great for building strength, as well as potassium, calcium, magnesium, phosphorus, iron, selenium, vitamin A, and some vitamin Bs as well. So very rich in nutrients. These are all important for your health, various bodily functions, and also can really just improve your overall health, and we'll get into more into that in just a minute. As I mentioned earlier, bone broth is also very low in calories, usually about 50 to 80 calories per serving. And there's a reason why consuming bone broth could help with gut health and the gut microbiome. It protects the gut barrier by promoting better intestinal integrity. A lot of experts in that field will say that the lining of your gut health helps with digestion, and over time, the lining can weaken and lead to a leaky gut syndrome. So what's more is regular consumption of bone broth can be soothing to an upset stomach, and it can be helpful for inflammation as well. So some of the minerals in bone broth, such as magnesium, iron, and selenium, may help promote immune function alongside its amino acids such as arginine and glutamate. So if it's wintertime and you want to support your immune system, this could really be helpful for you. Also, consuming bone broth can help with muscle cramping because of the electrolytes it contains. So since it contains those electrolytes, that's good for your nerve and muscle function and can also keep you hydrated as well. So that's very important. But there are some questions as to how much collagen you actually get from the bone broth to help restore collagen in the body. There's not a ton of studies on that right now, so that kind of remains to be seen. But overall, you are going to get some collagen and some protein and overall minerals and amino acids. So, and also with a low calorie count as well. So that's why it's important to start incorporating this into your diet. And that's about it when it comes to what is bone broth. So as I mentioned, most people aren't going to make your own bone broth, but if you did, you'd basically want to soak bones and the kind of joints and those things that are taken from the animal, whether it's a chicken or something else, and that's going to produce your bone broth. But for those of us that are going to be purchasing it in store, I recommend going with something organic, and that's and also low in sodium as well when it comes to the store-bought versions there. So just to recap there, you're going to get some good joint health benefits because of the collagen, and that's going to help support those bones and also reduce inflammation. You're also going to get gut health. So the gelatin in bone broth helps soothe and repair the gut lining, making it beneficial for digestive health. Skin health is going to also be impacted as that collagen that supports skin elasticity and hydration, which could potentially reduce wrinkles and promote a more youthful appearance. Also, that immune support that I mentioned is going to be important, especially during wintertime, as the bone broth contains those amino acids such as glycine and proline, which support the immune system. And again, hydration. So it's important to stay hydrated at all times. And as I mentioned, that bone broth can be high in potassium, which can support your hydration. So it's a great benefit to start incorporating bone broth into your diet. Next, how much should you drink? So when it comes to the amount, you're probably aiming for about 2 cups per day for your average person. If there's something specific that you're trying to address, such as joint pain or digestive issues, then you may want to aim for about 3 to 4 cups per day. So that is all I had for you this week when it comes to the new trendy bone broth. I guess I shouldn't say new as it's been around forever, but that trend seems to come and go. As I mentioned here today, there are a lot of great benefits to incorporating bone broth into your diet. So I highly recommend you go out and find a low sodium and organic bone broth, and that's going to have some great benefits for you with that low calorie count. So thank you for joining us today, or me, on Superhumanistic. My wife will be back next week. And as always, make sure you start incorporating some of these health tips into your life so that you can be more superhumanistic. We'll see you next week.